I have been working with women on their health for over 15 years. I have never before seen more women who are confused and you today that I just don't believe that. Hey there, I'm Bria, and welcome to the Period Whisperer podcast. If you're over 35 and ready for real answers about your hormones, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe and stay with us. Hey there, sister. How are you feeling in your body today, in your life, in your perimenopause, menopause transition? How's it going over there? I'm asking this because it is not always easy. It's not smooth for anyone, by the way. I do think transition is transition is transition. There's always, no matter how on top of your hormonal health you are, your health in your body, your health in your mind, transition is still transition. The ground is shifting beneath us. And I had an old friend reach out to me the other day who said, Bria, I've been listening to your podcast and it's been really helpful. Thank you, which I deeply appreciated. And then she said, and perimenopause really sucks. And I totally appreciate that. I still have moments where I'm like, ugh, this is not a transition I asked for, not one I was ready for. When we're in our 20s and 30s, I think we often feel like we have time before we have these transitions. When transition is forced upon you, I mean, there's beauty in it, there's gifts in it, and there are gifts of perimenopause. You hear me talk about those here, and I think two things can be true, and it can be very frustrating, not like having to figure out and navigate stability in a very unstable body at times is infuriating, even when you're at your best. So today I wanted to have a different kind of conversation, not about the latest supplement, not about the newest hormone hack, not about the perfect workout. I want to talk first about why so many women are struggling right now, and then about what actually moves the needle and gets results. So I have been working with women on their health for over 15 years, and 8 of those specific to hormones and perimenopause and menopause. And honestly, I have never before seen more women who are exhausted, overwhelmed, confused, frustrated, and doing all of the things. Never before. Like most of my private clients that come to work with me, like they don't have 60 plus pounds to lose. They all have big careers, demanding home lives. They have a lot on their plate and they're working out already. And they understand that they can't drink alcohol every single day and eat sugar every single day. Sure, some of them have things that we really need to work on emotionally and mentally to move away from and shift that mindset. But they're doing most of the things, right? Women are trying. You are trying. I know you are. You are working hard. Women are smart. And yet, they're still coming to me, listening to this podcast, waking up at 3 a.m., or not being able to sleep at all through the night, not being able to wind down and go to bed. They're dragging themselves through the afternoon thinking, oh my gosh, like, how am I even going to get through this day? When we used to pop out of bed and be so excited about the lives that we had. They're still pushing through workouts that aren't changing their body at all. Their weight either won't budge or is like exponentially growing by the month, just a little bit or a lot. Everyone's a little different there. And their libido has completely disappeared. And they're starting to wonder if this is what aging feels like. And I want to tell you today that I just don't believe that. After all of the women I have worked with, I think we are facing something unique. Perimenopause and menopause absolutely play a role. It's that navigating that transition. There will come a time when you achieve menopause, the shifting ground stops shifting. Now, we're left with something that, so for many women in menopause who just went through the pain of it all and still didn't solidify that underground, that ground beneath them, it can still be frustrating until we fix those areas of loss of function in a body and build foundations for us to receive hormone replacement therapy if that's the thing or not. But I think more, or I know now after working with so many women, after living in this life, our modern life is really creating the perfect storm for this to be worse than what our mothers and grandmothers and everyone before them went through. And I never want to minimize what generations before us went through, especially knowing that now at least we have some information coming for us in perimenopause and menopause as women. But, as opposed to being completely dismissed or not even having hormone replacement as an option or just being told you're crazy, that's a lot of the messaging that the generations before us got. But now more than ever, we are under more stress, right? We are sleeping less because things that are keeping us up later and later. I have clients with kids who are preteens playing hockey until 11 o'clock at night. Like our parents didn't have that, and we have phones all the time in our hand that are keeping us distracted. We have Netflix shows on repeat that keeps us distracted. We have social media telling us about everything going on in the world, good, bad, and ugly at any second and every second of the day. So we are sleeping less than ever. We are more disconnected from our bodies because our attention is being pulled outside of us constantly. We're bombarded by information, and we are constantly being told that if something isn't working, we just need to try another thing, or we need more discipline, or we need to work harder, or try this other thing, or try this other thing. Like eat less, exercise harder, push more, try harder, do another detox, buy another supplement. And the women, we're all sitting here wondering why we're exhausted and thinking, oh, this is aging. But it's not just that. Not just that. I believe that our generation of women going through perimenopause and menopause right now, so those of you in your 40s and 50s, we were the last generation who were parented by parents who had the memo, had the mindset, and taught us essentially, and again, this is a blanket statement, so it might not be for you, but it's for most. Our parents, and we were raised with the messaging from our parents of you respect your elders. You do your responsibilities, you don't question things. Your opinion doesn't necessarily matter too much until you're an adult. Like you do what you are told, and then you give back to those parents. The memo that we got from our as this generation got as parents, as mothers especially, was do not force your children to do anything. Do not let them, be in pain. Hold space for all of their big emotions. Make sure they have every opportunity given to them. Give them the opportunity to go to all of the sports things and all of the things. Keep them busy because, gosh, if they're not busy, they're probably going to be on screens, which is another problem. Very different messaging from what we were given, but essentially means that us as women going through this time frame are bleeding energy back towards our elders because that is how we are taught and that is how we want and raised, and that's what we want to give back to our parents. That's our responsibility. And pouring out energy to our children who don't have that same message of giving back to us, that just have been taught through social media to expect things a lot, to try to keep up with the Joneses all of the times, who maybe don't express the same gratitude or maybe don't understand how to entertain themselves, all of these things. So we're bleeding out energy on both sides, different from past generations. Also, we have different environmental issues. We have more toxins in our air, toxins in our food. We have more social media coming at us that I didn't have social media until I was into my 20s. So, we didn't have any of that, beforehand, or certainly generations before didn't have social media, this pressure to stay in contact, to know everything that's going on in the world. and having it shoved down your throat constantly with all of the options and the emotional labor. So, our generation of women, yeah, we're able to work, we're able to have big careers and go us. And research shows we are still carrying 80% of the emotional labor of a family, all of the organization, all of the planning, all of the thought work that goes into those things. That falls on women more often than it does a male counterpart. Women are suffering more in perimenopause during this transition because there are way, way, way more stressors, way less nutrients, right? Our soil is depleted. Our food comes from all over the world before it's even reached maturity. Our water is polluted, so we filter it. So, way less nutrients just in everyday food and way more distractions. Like, way more that keep us from tuning into ourselves, that keep us from listening to the messages from our body, that keep us from following through on doing something long term. One of the concepts I talk a lot about here in the podcast and on other people's podcasts when I guest about, and that certainly my clients know about really well, is something I call health debt. Think of your body like a bank account. Every day you're making deposits and withdrawals. Sleep is a deposit, protein is a deposit, movement is a deposit, joy is a deposit, recovery is a deposit. But stress is a massive energy suck. It's a huge withdrawal. Poor sleep, withdrawal. Blood sugar swings, withdrawal. Overtraining, which is, again, a big thing of our generation. We're all out there busting our butt. I was one of them 6 days a week. Let's push, 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 hustle harder, right? Huge, massive withdrawal on the body. Alcohol, again, also, we're of this generation where it was really common to, like, get together with other moms on the play dates and drink alcohol. Withdrawal, right? Big withdrawal. Perimenopause itself, huge withdrawal of energy because the buffer of those sex hormones is going away, and all transitions require a lot more energy because your body is now working harder just to maintain regular balance. And what I see over and over again is women trying to optimize these things, trying to start fitness programs, trying to follow nutrition plans, trying to take hormone replacement therapy, trying to take peptide therapy from a place of debt, right? So you're trying these supplements, you're trying these, medications, you're trying these hormones, you're trying to build muscle, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to heal maybe and trying to feel better, but you're doing that without first restoring the energy that your body needs to even heal, to even feel better, to even be able to optimize. We're trying to optimize when we don't have the energy to optimize, right? We're trying to, yeah, it gets very overwhelming, but when you break it down like that, this is why so many women are feeling so dang stuck. So, what actually does move the needle, right? And honestly, as we all know, it's not very sexy. It's stabilizing our blood sugar. It's getting the right fuel mixture in your food. It is walking. It is sleeping. It is managing that stress. It is supporting your nervous system. It is understanding your body's patterns and learning how your hormones actually work. And then it's building muscle and testing when it's appropriate instead of guessing, right? That's what helps us get there. Kind of doing the boring things long enough for those to become powerful. I'm often reminded, like, we don't think of our hormones and our hormonal health and our gut health and all of these symptoms that we're having of can't lose weight, can't put on muscle, don't have a libido, don't feel well, can't sleep through the night. All of these symptoms, we don't think of these as a broken bone. But if you think about these, the function of your body as a broken bone on your leg, then it can start to make a little bit more sense. If you're a runner and you break your ankle, you can't just walk around on that ankle and not cast it up. No, you're going to create way more inflammation than it already has, and you're going to damage it beyond repair. So what do? We cast it up. And we have to do that in our health and hormones, right? We have to, a body that has lost function in the gut, and you've lost function in your gut if you have any type of of constipation, you're not pooping every single day. If you are having any diarrhea, if you're having any bloating, if you're having any acid reflux, you have lost function in your gut. Maybe not a lot, maybe just a little. Hard to know until we get in there and do a lab. If you are struggling to sleep through the night, you have lost some function, likely in your nervous system regulation or your blood sugar regulation. If you are dealing with skin issues, if you are having really heavy periods, if you are cold all the time or having night sweats all the time, all of these are indicators from your body. They're little lights that come on like your check engine light that there is a loss of function. So your loss of function in your body is just like having a broken ankle. We have to cast it up. So sometimes we got to take a big step back, whether it's pulling back on your workouts, whether it's drastically changing nutrition for a short period of time to create the space for the body to heal. And then when that cast comes off, you can't just go on a 5K run. You can't do it. You have to go to the physiotherapist to get full range of motion of that foot gently and slowly. And nobody wants to do that part. And the same goes in our health and hormones. We can't just go willy-nilly dive right into all of these things once we've maybe taken 60 to 90 days off of eating inflammatory foods or pulling out our workouts. We can't just dive right into the deep end and start training for that marathon again. No, we have to slow down and we have to ease in and see where the things are off. Because if you don't do that, you are going to likely re-injure it, or you'll never get full range of motion of that broken ankle, for example. And then we can slowly rebuild that strength so that you can become an amazing marathon runner, so that you can feel incredible in your body. You see the difference in that? So doing these boring things long enough in a pattern is what becomes powerful here. But here's the challenge, right? Most of us don't need another course. We don't need another random podcast episode. We don't need another Instagram post, because those are quick things. And although they can be helpful and they can be motivating, and I'm grateful that you're here listening, what women need is a place to go, right? A home base, a roadmap, a community, a place where all of these pieces are together and it's normalized that it's going to take this long, and you can get your questions answered and you can get support if you have it, and you're not being sent off to this doctor or this doctor or this doctor who are not all talking to each other, where you can feel validated that your labs, although look normal, does not mean you are fine. Right? It's one-stop shop is really a lot of what we're needing, so that we're not constantly distracted and pulled out into this world of distractions and FOMO that we get stuck with, and keeps us consistent. This is what we need. This is what moves the needle. A methodology that works for shifting hormones and health debt specifically, and one that is there long enough with the support that you need so that you stick around long enough to get those results. And this is exactly why I have just built, well, I haven't just built it. It's been going in the works for a little while, why I'm just relaunching Midlife Mojo. Honestly, again, this has been in my head for years. I used to have a group coaching program called Midlife Mojo where we were together for 3 months, but I kept saying the same thing. Women would work with me. They would, in the end, start to feel better or feel amazing, which is even better. And they'd start to understand their body. But then, life happens, right? A stressful season, a new symptom, a new challenge, something going on with your kids, something going on with your job, a really busy work time. And they needed a place to come back to. And don't get me wrong, I love working with my one-on-one clients. I love the opportunity to get really nitty-gritty in with someone and work together on their body over a 6-month, 12-month period. Some of my clients just stay on and we talk every single month after that, just to make sure we're staying here. But I know that that doesn't fit for every single person. And I also know that as much as I think lab work should be something that we have, functional lab work, something that we do for ourselves annually, I know that that's not always where we need to start. And we can actually make progress sometimes even without that. So Midlife Mojo became my answer to that problem. And I'm getting to walk you through it here today. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it because it is now officially live. It is the place I wish existed for every woman navigating perimenopause and menopause. So, what does it look like? Inside, there is a 90-day hormone revival program. This is where you start. You're going to go through this program. This is what's going to help you cast that ankle. It's going to help you go to physio. It's going to help you get back into strength, strength building. So, it's a step-by-step roadmap that really teaches you exactly what actually moves the needle. Short videos, really digestible, gives you a plan. Great. This is my plan. This is what I'm focused on. And then you also have amazing live Q&A sessions twice a month, so you can pop on and get your questions answered from me. You'll find something that I've created that I'm really excited about called the Whisper Room, which is a growing library of quick, like on-demand trainings organized by symptoms, right? So maybe you are struggling with sleep, but there's so many pieces to sleep that you can be struggling with. Are you struggling with falling asleep? Are you struggling with waking up at 1 a.m.? Are you struggling with waking up from 2 to 4 a.m.? Are you waking up with no energy? So many different problems and a lot of different opportunities for unique solutions to you. Are you struggling with brain fog? Is it fog all day or are you forgetting words? What are the different symptom gives a different answer that way. Is it libido? I mean, goodness, libido has 3 major components to it. Like, do you have just no desire? Do you have no lubrication? Can you not climax? Do you have all of those? So in the Whisper Room, when we get into all of these areas, whether it's heavy periods or bloating or digestive issues or any of these other symptoms, we're breaking it down and you have access to really quick troubleshooting videos to help you get an answer like stat on that thing from me specifically. And you also get this community full of women who understand exactly what you're going through. And I think that's the big piece that I love is recognizing that when we do something with other people or when we feel like we're not alone, it's so much easier to follow through on what our plan is, on the changes we're trying to make. It keeps us honest and keeps us going. I also put in there something called Bria's Kitchen, which has growing recipes, meal planning tips, and nutrition resources for people who love that. You get full access to all of my mini courses that I've already created that have been some of my most popular sales ever that help people more deeply understand their nutrition just for fun. You get walking meditations. And of course, as an additional bonus, there are 2 really exciting pieces of content that unlock as you graduate through the Hormone Revival program. So for the first time ever, I have recorded my own workout program that I do for myself. This is how I work out. I've only ever worked out at home. So you're getting to see what I'm doing at home and you can work out alongside of me, as well as my deeper course into peptides if you want to better understand if they're right for you. So the goal of Midlife Mojo was to provide a solution to why we're so stuck and why women are more stuck than ever. It gives you the education, it gives you the clarity, it gives you the answers and the support and keeps you on track there long term. And here's the thing. I really wanted this to be accessible. When you work with me one-on-one, it's a big investment because I am thinking about you behind the scenes. We are customizing everything to you. We're doing lab work, which I know can be expensive for a lot of people. But because I know how much women are already spending trying to figure this stuff out, there is a 7-day free trial. So you can actually get in, access some of the content, see if we vibe a little bit. And it's just $24 a month. You can cancel anytime. Less than most people will spend on a supplement that they aren't even sure is helping them. So I wanted to build this because I want to create this space. I know my favorite space is when I'm hanging out with all of my girlfriends. I feel most motivated when I'm in that place. And I wanted that space there for you to give you those answers and allow us to connect on a more deeper level. So if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, if you've been trying to piece things together from Google or Instagram and you're sick of your doctor telling you're fine, or you're sick of trying things that your friend did and didn't work for you, if you're tired of guessing and you're ready for clarity, direction, a plan, support, community, quick wins anywhere you need it, and really a full-stop shop for all of your hormonal needs, I would love to welcome you into Midlife Mojo. You can find the link in the show notes, so just scroll down, click the link. You can learn more there before you make any commitment. You can cancel anytime, but you do get that free 7-day trial so that you can actually get in there and look around at things and get access to them and check them out and see, is this even worth it for me? But again, when I know that a good supplement often costs $40, $50, sometimes $60, $24 a month is going to give you access to nutrition plans, to your full 90-day plan, to community, to get live coaching, to get workouts, to get peptide support, all of these pieces. If now is not the right time, that's okay. You can keep coming back, keep listening, keep learning, keep taking care of yourself, because your body is not broken. It is communicating. And perimenopause and menopause is the time for us to start listening. Together, we're going to learn how to listen and how to work through that. So click that link below. And of course, if you want more in-depth support, you can always click below and book a free one-on-one call with me. We can actually talk about lab work. Midlife Mojo will give you access to learning more about lab work if it is something you want to be doing at a more deeper level. I love that kind of stuff. But this is everything you need without the lab work. Everything else, every single thing, and access to labs. I hope to see you in Midlife Mojo so that we can hang out more. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Period Whisperer podcast. And until then, go out, be more in your life and not just less on a scale. We'll catch you in the next episode. If you're 35 plus and ready to stop guessing, start understanding your hormones, and feel your absolute best, hit subscribe. That's what we do here.